Damn, I need to learn how to do that correctly. So, let me add this real quick. So, thank you very much for tuning in with another episode with the Comic Menu. I am your co-host Dell, and my other co-host is Caesar.
Here we are. Hello. We're gonna have a fun show tonight.
And that was sloppy for my side.
Yeah, sure it was.
I was over here sharing it and trying to comments and stuff on the side, and I just like, oh, it's already done. Um, it's honestly it's not like Streamyard, so we're still
No,
learning.
we gotta learn.
It's been
We just
like what
gotta learn.
2 months already with this thing, and I'm still not even 100% on this. With that being said, guys, today's episode we have a local author. He has a children's book that he just published. He just came out in October. Um, Hospital Jungle Safari. That's the name of the book. We're gonna go and talk to him about it, how it started, what are his ideas, if there's it could be a continuation, how is it going, and any questions you might have, you want to purchase, let us know. Try to get all the information for you. With any further ado, we're gonna get him on. And hey, Lance,
There he is.
Hello. Great to be with
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah, man.
I
Introduce
appreciate you
yourself,
stopping by.
Lance. Yeah, introduce yourself. What do you do for a living? Let us know.
All right. Hey, so I'm the CEO for our South Texas Health System Children's Hospital and South Texas Health System Edinburgh Hospital. I've been down here in Edinburgh, Texas for about 12 years, and I love it. A lot of sunshine, great food, great tacos, and really good people. So it's an honor for me to be here with y'all and be part of your show.
In fact, we're very happy to have you here and appreciate all you do for the children. Is that something you've always wanted to work in? Was in pediatrics or?
I've actually always had a passion for that. I when I was going to school, I always wanted to be part of healthcare. I studied biology, was actually pre-medical for quite some time, and was thinking I was going to go to medical school. And I spent some time in some pediatric dental clinics, got to learn a little bit of what it's like to take care of kids. And when the opportunity came to be part of this children's hospital, it just was exciting. And I've been here, like I said, for about 12 years now, serving in this capacity. So it's an honor. I really have a passion for working with kids and really anyone who needs healthcare.
So, quick question, because I met you through unfortunate but fortunate events, right? My grandmother was hospitalized, and we were in the second floor waiting room, and he comes up and he's just customer service was top notch. Like, what's going on? You ask for our information. Everything okay? Is there like? And I think you were just randomly asking people like, what are some things to perfect or see if we can do better. And we just, from there, and he was just talking, and then I just, put out there, hey, my wife's gonna become a nurse. Hook it up. I don't know. We just started talking. Then I introduced them to our CEO or another one of the owners for the other scooters, and like, oh, let's see if we can do something. And we just had a conversation, and I got his number, and it just I kept in touch, and it's so funny. Like, and I added him on Facebook because I had saved his number, and I saw he had a book, and I think I reached out to you because my wife had just finished school,
Yep.
and I was like, I was as I was messaging you, I was going through your profile. I'm like, this guy, I didn't know he writes or nothing like that. And we talk with writers, directors, screenwriters, actors, comic writers, comic artists. So like, why not just help plug in? Plus it was a kid's book, right? So I was like, perfect. Now that we have you here, Lance, question is, what made you write this? Like, did you want this to write this from like a long time ago, or was just like a spur of the moment kind of situation?
It came up just as I've been working in the children's hospital. I realized we really need to have something that we can give to our kids so that they can have something to do. I work in a hospital every day. I love being in a hospital. I'm kind of a hospital nerd. But for a kid, most kids come to the hospital and they are here for several days or weeks. And so I was like, what can we do to help give them more activities and more things to do? And a coloring book is something that I was thinking about, because I personally, I've always loved to draw. I've always loved to write stories. From the time I was young, I was in school doodling on my page. I don't know about you guys, but that was me, just drawing different pictures, coming up with different characters. And so I think I just gradually, as I've worked in the children's hospital space, I've kind of just always been thinking about what kind of a story could I write, and what kind of characters could I include so that kids could feel more comfortable in a hospital, and that they could even learn about what a hospital is and become more comfortable with it. How could you even help a kid become excited about a hospital rather than just scared about a hospital? So I think I've always had those kind of thoughts, and I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I just need to put this down on paper and need to write. So we did that.
So the name of the book is called what is it again?
Hospital Jungle
Hospital
Safari.
Jungle Safari, right here. Can you see that?
Oh, let's put that in the main there,
Yeah.
Dale. All right, we're gonna give you a lid. If you scoot it over to the, there we
There we
go.
go.
Boy. All right, Hospital Jungle Safari. So I'm assuming there's a story that goes along as the kids are. So what's it about?
Yeah. So with the book, yeah, we've got two main characters. One is Vivi, and another one is Ben. And so they end up having to go to the hospital, and that's where they start. We have a hospital mascot who is actually a monkey, and we have, throughout the book there are a lot of other jungle characters that we'll introduce. But essentially they get to the hospital, and kind of take them through from what is it like when you go to an ER, and who do you meet when you're in an ER. So the first characters they'll meet are Dr. Toucan, who's a toucan, and a nurse named Dot, who's a leopard. And they, you just learn what is a nurse, what is a doctor, what do they do in there. And then some patients end up needing to be admitted. So throughout the book, the patients get admitted to the hospital, and we have some maze type activities, and they find their way up to their inpatient room within the hospital. But throughout the story, there's just a lot of different jungle characters that they get introduced to. So you learn what a phlebotomist is. Do you guys know what a phlebotomist is? Someone who
Yeah,
draws your blood, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, a lot of people don't know what that
Yeah.
is.
Right. Right.
So
Right. That's,
we actually so
there you go. Thank you.
we have a bee who's our phlebotomist, who helps draw the blood, and gives you a little bit of honey to make it a better experience. We have a certified nurse assistant. So a lot of people don't realize that they're nursing assistants for our nurses. So you learn about who they are. And we also have a crocodile who's in charge of dietary and make sure that they eat well. And so really it's just their journey through the hospital to learn what is the hospital, and have some fun activities along the way. And it's a jungle setting, so I think it just helps make the hospital a more fun and engaging environment.
we just got you a
What,
sale right there.
there you
um,
go. Somebody just bought it
Oh, awesome.
on,
Hey, thank you so much. That's
on
amazing.
Amazon. There you go. Well,
Yep,
listen,
that's where it's at.
people love, especially people like Dell who has 25 kids. They love to color. They like to do all that stuff, and it and it's something you could do together, right? And the thing is, you buy. Like I said, Dell has 78 kids, so all of his 25 kids can each have their own book and color each character different colors, whatever it is. It's fun. Like you said, who doesn't like to color? I
Right.
mean, it's for adults, it's a stress reliever. For kids, it's something different, right? It's fun for them, and I think it's kind of cool, Lance, the fact that you are also introducing them. It's not just a coloring book; it is a learn in color, because you're like, you guys know how the hospital. We're going to show you how the hospital works, and
Okay.
what this does, and what she does, and what who does, and that's some good stuff. And I really appreciate people like you who's in the industry to do a coloring book about the industry,
Yeah, and I
right?
was kind of surprised there really aren't a lot of coloring books about hospitals. So I really hope that it can help fill a space that is needed right now. There are, I think, a lot of kids that can become more comfortable in a hospital setting, or that can even just learn about what a hospital is and who are the people that they meet in a hospital. So I think it's a really great opportunity.
I agree because there's a stigma right now, like with kids, we're going to the doctor, like, oh, there's a shot, we're gonna get a shot. That's
Right.
like their fear. But if we talk to them slowly, Okay, there's a difference between this and that, which is good, and like you're slowly introducing it. And I'm not gonna say it's dumbing it down, but you're putting it to a level where they can understand. Sometimes if you use these big words, they don't understand what that is, and you're over here putting a creature with a like a CNA, and they can understand. Okay, well, this is what it is. Oh, mom, I learned this today. I learned that, and they'll have that conversation. Opens up a whole dialogue with the family members.
Yeah, and actually, for big, speaking of big words, within the coloring book, there are a couple pages where we actually write in some boxes and say, "Hey, this is a stethoscope, and this is an ophthalmoscope," so that they can kind of learn. Like when I see the doctor have that thing around their neck, I know what to call that. And again, it
Mm-hmm.
just makes it more familiar, and you can start speaking the hospital lingo even as a kid.
Just imagine you're gonna self-diagnose. You know how us adults go to WebMD and like, oh, mom, I went ahead and I look. I need to get my blood drawn because I need to find out what kind of diseases I got or whatever. That'd be funny.
But
Um,
see, Billy, you got to buy this book. It'll help with your anxiety,
Yeah,
and you
that's the
learn
whole goal.
about and you'll learn about the hospital, Billy, and you can color the stethoscope any color you want, and have imaginary friends as well. You know what, Lance? I think you're onto something. To be honest with you, I think you really are onto something because I can see other hospitals adopting this book and really, I mean, and giving this and having them for the kids on all the hospital, and all the child, not even just in children hospitals, just in hospitals in general. That because there's obviously there's children wards, and why not, right? I mean, a couple color crayons, and you're set to go. And like I said, it really does help with the anxiety of it keeps their mind off what they're there for,
Right.
and at the same time they're entertained and not because when they have the anxiety, and Dale would know this because she's been in the hospital recently. When they have anxiety, the parents get even more anxiety, right? Because
Absolutely.
a lot of people don't think about that. They always think about the children who's always freaking out and is very anxious what he's doing there. But many people don't realize how that affects the parent within the inside. Because
Hmm.
if you can't calm that child, then you start to freak out because you don't know how to calm your child. Right? So it's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, imagine like one thing that I was imagining too is, let's say that you've got a child that's in the hospital and you've got to go and get an X-ray, and when you go to get an X-ray, you go to a room and there's this big machine, and so how neat would it be to be able to have a coloring book where you can actually meet an X-ray tech? He's a giraffe, by the way. His name's Alto. Extra credit for anyone who knows what Alto means in Spanish.
Yeah.
We have a
Mhm.
I
highly
tall. Yeah.
there you go. You got it. Um, but how cool would it be? You can color Alto and meet a radiology technician, color the X-ray machine yourself, and then you're so much more comfortable when it's actually time to go in and get the X-ray. You know what the equipment looks like. You've already met a tech, and just a much more comfortable experience.
So there's a question right there. Is there one for vision and dental? And dental would be another good one because kids are afraid of that one.
Hey, I think it's a
Not
great
just
idea.
kids,
It's a great
adults.
idea. I thought of that as well. So I told you I worked in a pediatric dental clinic for a little while
Hmm.
before I went
Hmm.
into the hospital field. My sister is also a dental hygienist, so she's already hit me up on that. She's like, "Hey, I need one of these for the dental clinic."
Mm.
Vision, I
All
think
right.
it's another really great idea. So we'll get to work on that. Great idea.
Yeah, you know what, Lance? You could have a whole theme here, right? I mean, anything that has to do with children being afraid of X, there's a coloring book for whatever that is, right?
That's right.
And I think you got a gold mine here. I think Mary's going to want a good 50% of that profit that she gave you the idea.
Well, Mary, I want to know.
Um.
So, should I keep the jungle theme, or should we pick other things like space or, anything
Oh.
else? I
Oh,
want your
Oh,
feedback.
space
that.
would be good.
Oh.
Hold on. So Mary's my mom. I know,
Okay.
and she's into BTS, and BTS and space is one thing. So now that you said that, she would buy that, and I know she will just because of that. Sorry,
I that you know what, Lance, I would kind of go with a different theme for every different category.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too.
Yeah,
Shake it
I
up a
mean,
little.
yeah, like you said, there's a space theme. Then you could do an underwater theme,
Yeah.
aquatic.
Mm-hmm.
There's you can go desert,
Yep.
camels and all that stuff. I think sky's the limit on this stuff. And when it comes to children, they love it all.
Yep.
Kids will, they don't care what the theme is. They just want to be able to color a dinosaur. As a matter of fact, you can even do a time travel theme where
Hey,
they
that's
go
a good
back
one.
in
I
Dinosaur
like
time
it.
theme, though.
and they go and they get to color, dinosaurs
Love
and they
it.
color pyramids or whatever it is. It's we should talk, Lance. I think I got your number, my friend. So obviously Amazon, right?
Yep.
Where you can find it. And what's this thing that Dow he has up here on the screen? What is this all about?
Well, that was kind of a fun surprise. So when I was creating the story, I didn't have time to draw it myself. As much as I love art and drawing, I just with my job and my busy schedule, I didn't have time to draw it. So I engaged an illustrating company. They're excellent illustrative design, and as they were looking at the storyline, they said, "Hey, we really like this, and we want to publish it," which again was not part of my goal. I really was not looking to publish the book. I was just trying to get a nice coloring book for my kids in my children's hospital.
Mm,
But they said we want to be able to do more with it. So they actually secured the billboard that you see right there on that image in Times Square. And I was
yes.
able to go to Times Square and see the book promoted there. It was just an incredible experience. And
Fantastic.
yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Just
Look at
walk
you
along
on
and there
Times
you go.
Square.
There's the book.
There's the creator. Well, look at you. Listen, Lance, that's a bucket list, my man. The fact that you were up on Times Square.
Yeah.
Come on.
I didn't ever plan that bucket list item. That was a fun surprise.
You know, so okay, so you're when you first did this, you were literally just thinking something for your hospital, and that's it. Just
That's it. Yeah.
little something. And
Yep.
then they're like, we can really go somewhere with this.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That was pretty cool. Like it's funny how you make sure you're sort of like, okay, this is what I want to do, and then once you push yourself, everything just fell into place slowly, and
Yeah.
then we're here, right? Have you been interviewed before, Lance, about your book, or have you talked to like local news channels at all?
You guys are the very first ones, actually, and I'm excited about that. I do have some other things. Our hospital is going to be promoting it as well. So we are going to be, working with the news and doing some other things to promote it. But you guys
Fantastic.
are the first ones, so it means a lot.
Well,
Thank you.
listen, that's what we do. We're always the first to do something in this damn community. I'm. What is that thing at the very bottom? Is that a butterfly? The small
This
thing
right
next to the
here.
boy.
Oh
We're
yeah,
at
it looks
so
like a butterfly.
so on the cover in the upper left,
Yeah.
I've got some parrots. Bottom, it's just some different flowers, and there is a butterfly down there.
Okay.
Nod
What
to Mission,
now? I
Texas.
want to know.
We have a ton of butterflies down here. It's actually a
Hmm.
butterfly national migration route.
That's what I keep hearing about. I keep hearing
Yeah,
that Texas has like a whole gang of
We have
butterflies.
our own ecosystem down here.
we
That's
do.
for sure.
And that's just in tacos alone. What now? I want to know what's the people. Not the people. Now I know. I want to know the names of those animals on that cover because now I'm intrigued.
All right. Hey, so we've got right here. If I look at the cover,
Yeah.
Dr. Paz is the one of the doctors. We've got the girl in the middle. She's our main character, Vivi.
Okay.
Ben is the other main character. So they're the two that are going through the hospital. We've
All
got
right.
Buzzy is the bee, who's our phlebotomist, and Eddie is our mascot. He's a monkey. He's kind of our safari guide through the jungle.
All
We
right.
also have Dr. Toucan right here, who is hiding in the corner. And we've got
All right.
Hoppy the hippo, who is our CNA, our nurse assistant.
So another
Yeah.
question there: do a portion of the proceeds go to children's hospitals?
Hey, great question. So one thing I'm very sensitive about, I really was like, I don't want people, thinking here's the CEO of a hospital making
Yeah.
this coloring book and making a bunch of profit
Make
on
my
it.
money.
So
Yeah. Correct.
I'm telling you right now, I am not making any profit on this book. Everything that we collect, it's going to go to, obviously pay for the coloring book supplies, paper, printing, all that. And then any excess, I'm putting that towards local charities here in our market. So I'm not keeping anything personally.
Um, yeah, it's almost like, yeah. Well, why would I? It's kind of like it's a book for children and anything to support local charities, and
Yeah.
that's the way to go.
Yeah.
And I wish more people would. Uh, I kind of wish I would see more of this stuff that have to do with going stuff being done for the children, not for the sake, not only for the sake of entertainment, but like what you do is education, and like we talked about, to remove that anxiety. And let's be honest, I think there's a lot of adults that would probably love to even use that book when they're in the hospital, because coloring books have been proven to relieve stress. That's why you see a lot of coloring books that are very intricate, right? You can you can color mandalas and all these various stuff. People get very intricate because it is stress reducing,
Yeah.
and just follow that concept and do it to the kids. It's a win-win, in my opinion.
Oh
I
yeah,
have
no,
a
it is fun for adults. I've colored it as well. It's actually enjoyable. I've had some people in our adult hospital as well that are like, "Hey, can we bring that coloring book over to the adult side?" So the answer is yes. I think everyone can benefit from it.
So are you gonna have like any book signings in the near future?
We are. I don't have a date set yet. I'll let you guys know, but we are planning on having a book signing. It'll be a lot of fun and just a good way to engage with the community and some of our awesome patients.
So are you open to going to schools to promote your book, or not promote, just talk to kids about it?
Absolutely, I love that. I have actually have 4 kids. They're in elementary school, middle school, and high school. So I love interacting with all those age groups.
So I just sent a message to my cousin, which is the principal for an elementary school here locally in
Oh,
La Villa.
nice.
So I just messaged him right now as we're talking. So I sent him the clip so he can be on here so he can see, and I'm gonna message him later. Now that you answer that question, I can like, hey, push it forward. Not just like to push the book, but the kids. It's fun to have somebody talk to the kids at a certain time. Like, oh, look, this is the book we have. It's good for Christmas gifts. It's good for giving to somebody that you know that's in the hospital. This is a book that goes to everybody. And like, it's a learning book. It's not just a coloring
Right.
book. You learn from this book. So it's like a plus on a plus on a plus. Um, well, I mean, obviously, we like to push out what we can and help out. If we can do more, me locally, I can do a little bit more because okay, I want to reach out to that person or that person and help push out this book as much as possible. Especially to have somebody local go out there. And the thing is, now that I remember, I was supposed to hit up Ramsey, which is another local comic guy. He did his first cover art for
Oh, look at this guy.
Transformers. Um, and I had a brain fart. I wanted to so let everybody know he's local, just like with me, and I wanted to push local people. Made not I don't think I made an error, but I just forgot. At least I was 100% with Lance. With Lance, I messaged you yesterday just to make sure, like, okay, and make sure he's like still do because I know how busy you could be, especially because you're running like all this. You're not just like an artist or a writer. You run a big ass hospital, and I can like please let him be able to come to the show, please. He said yes, and he asked for information. All right, perfect. I still have him down. Uh, I'm so glad I asked you last month because I like I said, I know how hard it could be to pencil you into any interview. So I do appreciate you stopping by. Um, but yeah, only thing
Hos-
what
Hospitals are a fun place to work.
I think so. I think
I,
they're a great place. A lot of people are a little
yeah,
overwhelmed by them, but I think they're a great place to be.
it is. I mean, there's overwhelming departments, of course, right? But I worked at a hospital in IT for 3 4 years
Oh
and
wow,
psych ward. I also
that's
did
amazing.
a psych slash rehab
Yep.
for IT. So I got to know the workings, and I got to know the nurses. I got to know the doctors and surgeons very well, because everyone likes the IT guy, right? So as you know that, Lance, everyone likes the IT guy because when
They're
your
the best. You know,
machines
you
go
got to make
down,
sure you're friends with the IT guy.
you got to make sure
You
you're.
can
So
make or break us.
I was friends with everyone, but there's something about the hospital that is very. It's I every time I was there, I always saw someone. They were always doing their best to make sure that, especially the kids were, that they were making sure they were just well taken care of, over the top. Because they don't know anything, and like you
Right.
said, they just don't. They're just there because they're not feeling well, and my mom takes me to the hospital. And once you start hearing the word hospital, forget about it. They start losing their minds. And so, like Dale said, dentists as well, anything that has to do with taking a shot, getting a shot, or whatever. Um, so, any kind of book that helps kind of relieve, it's not that bad. It's just a little pinprick, or it is what it is. But hospitals, they get a bad rap, unfortunately, because of what it represents in a sense, right? It kind of sucks because they're there to make people feel better. Um,
That's right.
that's the whole point.
Yep.
So I just got the okay from my cousin. Like, well, they would love to have you at the school. So I'm gonna
All
communicate with
right.
him later on. Hey,
Let's
I
do
mean,
it.
if we can be the first ones to get you on everything, I'll be like kind of glad. It's because we're pushing it to pushing a good agenda for kids. I think my kids go to school there, and they've seen you before, but they were like, once I want to be there, I'll be like, hey, he was the one that took he's the one that helped us when Grandma was sick. And they're like, oh really? And they'll ask me questions, and then they'll ask about the book. I know I'm gonna have to buy it now because they're gonna want once they see it, they're gonna want to get it. So I mean, it's a good thing going by Amazon. Oh, that's right. If you have copies available on hand,
I do. Yes.
how many?
Right now, we've got around 20,
Oh, okay.
but we're ordering a lot more. So
Yeah,
the
if you
hospital's
don't know,
going to start making some orders as well.
well, of course they have to because now
Yeah.
they're gonna have to push it and like, hey, we're doing
Yep.
something great and we're gonna try to push it ourselves. Um, I mean, we got one so at least, and I'm gonna buy one. That's two. Caesar
All right.
doesn't read, so it's good for him to get it. He can color. He likes coloring stuff.
It,
Uh,
it, it, you know what, Lance? You could also do a superhero theme one. Each of
Oh,
these,
I think we're going to
each of
have to do
these,
that.
each of
Absolutely.
these animals has like a superpower, per
Yep.
se, and it can all be health related. The power to heal, the power to pump blood, the power to, it's
To
always those kind
breathe.
of things.
Yeah.
I could, yeah, he helps you breathe, and
Yeah.
sky's the limit, my friend. I mean, I think you
Love it.
tapped into something that is, it's you can go anywhere, and not even thinking about other countries, Lance. Uh, Coloring books in Africa, coloring books in third world countries.
Right.
This would be massive. This would be huge.
so that, I mean, I haven't read it obviously. This is the general aspect of teaching what each person does, right? But you haven't gone to the like a one-on-one like of each department because ER there's specific things done in the ER. Delivery is something different in there, so you can go like a book about each one, about each section of each department,
Yeah, you could. You
and then
really
you old folks home. I mean, not old folks home. What's it called in the
the
A
senior?
skilled nursing
nursing home.
facility.
It's
There
a
we go.
nursing.
Yeah.
But see, I mean, now that I'm
Proper
thinking
way.
about it, 'cause my wife my wife works. She got hired, but now as a I forgot what it was when she works with a one-on-one with the kids at their house. I forgot
Home
what
health.
home health. There we go.
Yep.
So she's doing that. Like, there's so many aspects that or departments in the health industry that people don't understand. It's not just one hospital. That's it. Each hospital has a section where they need to go. ER has
That's
a
right.
section. Uh, ICU, the MRIs, all this other stuff. So, the more we learn, well, they learn, the more they get more comfortable. So, I mean, that's what you said. Like, that's the main reason for this
Yeah.
book to get them comfortable and to get to understanding the whole situation.
Is there a chapter there about X-rays?
Yeah, so really, it's just I have different pages dedicated to it. So as they're going through their hospital jungle safari, they start in the ER, they go to the med surge tele, just the regular nursing unit. They work with lab. They go to the radiology department. They go through the hallways. So we touch multiple parts of the hospital. I did not get labor and delivery, so maybe we'll have to have a separate book for labor and delivery. But
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, the more you can get familiar with each part, the better.
Is it pretty much like a kid's Grey's Anatomy?
That's one way you could put it. I like that. It's
Oh
a
my
little
god.
more
Yeah,
accurate, though. I will say it's.
yeah. A little more accurate. I will say, it's funny you say that, James. Lance, when I we were working at the hospital, I would see some of these TV shows, and I'm like, that doesn't work like that.
No.
I tell my wife all the time, like, no, it doesn't. No, they don't have the ability to do that yet. I don't know where they get that stuff, but that's TV, right? That must drive you crazy when you
Oh yeah.
watch
No, I
like
can't. I
medical
can't watch those.
shows.
I can't watch those shows. No.
I, I'm with you, man. It's weird. I also worked in the car industry for many years, so when I watch like Fast and the Furious movies, I'm like,
Nah.
listen. The car can't do that. Just to let you
Yeah.
know, the cars can't do that. It's not on its
Oh,
own without
what
some
they
kind of
came from
help.
space? Oh my god, they
Anything
overdo
that
it.
it's funny. So, I kudos to you, Lance. No joke, man. I really am happy that you tapped into some waters that needed to be tapped. Everyone's always thinking about other things, and you always hear people say, "What about the children?" No one's thinking about the children. Well, you
Right.
actually thought about the children, and the coloring book is a no-brainer. And it's not just pages where you just color. There's stuff to learn from. So that's just great. And I really do think, to be honest, I see this book in other countries, and especially obviously in hospitals, because it's universal. Coloring is universal, and it's whether they translate it into different languages later on in your career when it comes to this book, you could even do that.
I'm assuming it's already translated to Spanish, isn't it, Lance?
Actually, not yet. That is kind of one of the next steps that we're working towards. But I think we need, several more languages. Absolutely.
Yeah, especially where we're at. It's English first, Spanish is right behind there as a
Second
language.
first.
You think so?
No, yeah, I think Spanish is right up there. It's like they're both
Or
first.
like, yeah, I mean, I get you 100% on that one. Can you make a book to help Caesar over?
Ooh,
Hey,
I don't know if that's
Yeah,
possible.
he's not a miracle worker.
Lance, listen, I'm okay. I think I might be able to. I think this book alone is going to help me to learn how to read how to spell stethoscope. So I actually I might have to buy one.
I
Thank
try
you,
to
Billy,
limit
for
it
that.
to, one sentence per page, or maybe a couple of
Oh,
sentences per
in that
page. So
case, I'm your
it should be all
man,
right.
Lance. I'm your man. One word per page.
That's it.
I could do that.
We're keeping it simple.
She said one sentence, Caesar. Calm down. It's not
No,
one word.
oh, damn
One
it.
sentence. Don't overcome. But no,
Uh,
all jokes aside, it's good that we talk about it. I mean, like I said, we told him before, behind the scenes, we want to dedicate at least a solid 30 minutes talking about this book, how we can get a hold of it. Obviously, it's Amazon. The book's name is Hospital Jungle Safari. He's working on getting some signing events, some promotions. If you guys want to reach out, I'll be sharing this show to other groups. If you ever want to reach out to Lance, message us, and I'll reach out to him, and I'll get the email information for y'all, whatever. Um, let's try to get this push this book out there. I always like to support local. We always say support local. This is a good way to do that. You don't even gotta buy anything. Share it out. Share out the thing where maybe you one thing that everybody sees that there's always a kid that's in the hospital for certain reasons, right? And it's good to have them get their head from worrying about themselves and like, oh, it's a coloring book. Get them distracted. They need that. So that's why we wanted to get behind this. I told Caesar about it. He was like, okay, let's do this. And we want to push it. We do have a platform. Obviously, it's about comics, but sometimes we do have um,
Other things.
personal things that we want to push out. This is
Sure.
one of them. And that, with that being said, we are going to talk about it again towards the end of the show. We did tell him we were going to geek out a little bit,
Yeah,
and
let's keep
he did
going.
tell us. It's surprising. He is a big X-Men guy, and he loves Fantastic Four. Correct?
Yep.
What is the last movie you saw, Lance? Like what major MCU movie you? And I know, no, don't worry,
The
you're not gonna offend us
all
if
right.
you saw a movie 10 years ago.
Last movie was actually Wicked, so I'm gonna admit that my
Oh,
girls got me
okay.
to go, and actually I loved it. Last, movie that I saw that superhero based was probably actually the X-Men, the first one that came out when they started doing the modern remakes, and I was watching that with my kids, and they actually really loved it.
Are you talking about
Wait a minute.
X-Men
So
First Class?
first
Which
class when
one?
they were young. First
No, no,
class.
no, not when they were young. It was when they're full X-Men phase. It wasn't like early X-Men. Which one
Was
was
it
that?
with Halle Berry as Storm?
Yeah, yes, that one.
Okay, that's the original
I think it was
2004.
2000, something like that.
Yeah,
2003,
yeah,
2004.
yeah. Lance, you got to get out more often, man.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm working on it. I've got this
you,
hospital I'm working at.
you're telling a bunch of geeks that the last movie you saw, a Marvel movie, was
20 years ago.
X
Let's see.
two.
No, no. I watched it probably within the past month, actually. So
Oh,
I'm
oh, I
telling you,
see.
like my
Okay.
kids, they wanted to see it, so we
Oh,
pulled it out and we watched
gotcha.
it.
Okay. So you are literally saying that's the last
Yeah,
comic book
most
movie you
recent.
watched.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Have you
So
seen any of the newer ones? Like Deadpool,
Nope. Haven't seen
Wolverine?
Deadpool. Haven't seen the new one. Got to get out.
how
We gotta
about,
get out, my friend.
did you watch the End Game?
Yes.
Oh,
Movies.
okay, we're not working here. You're
Okay,
pretty much
he's
on
not
there.
too bad.
A lot of
He's all
people
right.
will stop watching after Endgame because they like no. It's hard for Marvel to do what they did because it took what years for them to go all the way to that movie. It was like Black Panther, Ant Man,
Yep.
everything was Thor put it together to meet together, right? It's gonna be hard. I don't know if you saw the news right at Comic Con um, that Tony is back. Tony
Tony
Stark,
Tony Stark.
he's
And
back.
Chris Evans and Captain America.
Yeah,
All right.
but as a twist, they're gonna have there's storylines in the books where Tony Stark becomes a bad guy and he becomes Doctor Doom. Right? You got to read it to understand why he became that, and I don't want to ruin it too much. But he's gonna become a bad guy. What's up, DJ? And there's also where
True.
Chris Evans, he's gonna be with Hydra. So they're twisting it. A lot of people are not liking it, but some are like interested because they've read the comic. Um, I've read
I, I'm,
some of
I,
them, and I'm interested to see how they're gonna go with this. And it
I'm,
sucks that you're fine, Caesar.
honestly, let's be honest. I mean, Endgame, it kind of ended the Captain America phase. You're right. He got old and he lived a life, his chick and all that stuff. So if they wanted to have fun with him now, with a different multiverse or a different strain where he's part of Hydra, I'm okay. I really am okay with that. It's not like they converted Captain America converted in the middle of the last series of movies that we saw. So it's like, oh, you can't. No, it's fine. I'm perfectly fine with them retooling it. Hey, thank you, DJ. Yeah, man, I'll follow you back. So it's kind of fun. Look at them. That's your audience right there.
So,
That's
did you watch the new Spider-Man movie from like 3 years ago?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love Spider-Man. I've
So,
seen all of them.
did you see with all the three different Spider-Mans together?
I
That one.
did. Yes.
What were your thoughts on that?
I thought it was good sentimental value. I like I love the multiverse and the different dimensions they pull through. And I've got to say, I'm a Tom Holland fan, so I've got to say he's my favorite of the three. If you
Ooh.
don't ever want to go that far, I'm sure that may be a horrible thing to say for some of the other
No,
Spider-Man
no, no,
fans out there,
no,
but
no.
I thought it was just really great to see all three of them because they all did an incredible job. But for me, I'm Tom Holland. That's my guy.
We've had many
Gotcha.
conversations about who's your favorite Spider-Man,
Yep.
and to me, Tom
Toby.
Holland,
Toby.
he's a
All
Toby
right.
guy. For me, he's a Tom Holland, even though he's like 78 years old, but he still could pass. He could still pass for sort of a senior in high school, maybe a sophomore in college, but he can still pass that.
He can. Yeah.
Where the other ones, Garfield, is this 35-year-old high school student. I just
Right.
never, I just never, he's good. He's a great actor because I've
He
seen
is
him
a
in
great
other
actor.
movies. He's fantastic.
Agreed.
Andrew Garfield, right? But as a high school Spider-Man, I would have been happier if they made him more college when he was in the
Yeah, I
college
can see
era
that.
instead of high school. I just didn't vibe, but I'm glad you liked it. So you like the whole multiverse of madness
Oh
with
yeah.
Doctor Strange and all that. All right.
Yep.
So before we go back to being dorks, right? With Wicked, I want your perspective. I think Linda is a real villain in that movie. I really feel like she's the villain, not I forgot her name, but I feel Linda is the evil person here. Do you agree with me or do you disagree with me?
I think so. I heard the producer for the film share that I think it's a wise statement. I think when you watch the movie, you realize that the line between good and evil is actually a lot grayer than we think.
Yeah.
I think that there's good and evil in both Elphaba and in Galinda, and that's my take.
So with Alpha, you're expecting her to be evil though, right?
Right? Oh yeah, totally.
You're expecting
Well,
her.
she's the
You're,
witch. I mean,
Yeah,
yes.
she's the Wicked Witch of the West. I mean, of course.
Have you seen all those theories though, Lance? Of like, oh, Glinda was actually she wanted to get rid of all the sisters so she can have all the power and stuff like that. She wanted to get rid of the main guy.
Yeah,
Have you seen those theories before?
I've seen them. Yep.
I fell into a deep like TikTok. People just start you just go in there and you're like, oh, that makes sense and that makes sense. Um, if you've seen the movie Wicked, you can see what's his name, Tin Man, the lion, like clues, right?
Right.
And now it's like kind of curious. I wasn't a I knew it was gonna be musical, and I was expecting to be musical. To me, it was like I wish they had more of a conversation. There was parts, and they're like, okay, it's getting good, and then all of a sudden it's a musical again. I'm like, ah, okay. Because honestly, like I don't think you've seen the new Joker, right, Lance?
No, I haven't. Mm-mm.
Did you see the okay? Because the first one, the first both of them are pretty much musicals,
Right.
and
Yeah.
that one had a lot of backfire, a lot of backfire. And I knew that Wicked was um, a Broadway show.
Hmm.
It wasn't a movie. Obviously it was written, but it was Broadway, and then you brought it into a movie. I was like, and I knew, but me myself like, dang it, I was getting into it, then musical, getting into it, getting musical. Overall, like I said, I think I gave it a 6. Right, Caesar? We talked about it last week, and there's a part 2 next year. I'm gonna watch because I gotta continue. I can't not finish something because it's like okay, I want to see how it ends. And I'm, I know my daughter's looking forward to it more than I am. I want to see what the end of it is. But to this day though, I mean, for now, Glinda to me, evil, the real evil witch.
Have you seen the Broadway?
I have not. I know about it. I see clips, so I prep myself to TikTok pretty much. So
Yeah.
I saw clips here and there. Oh, it's pretty good. And I was like, Broadway, I expect singing. So I'm like, I think I psyched
have
myself
you?
out too much.
Have you, Lance? Have you seen the Broadway
Yeah.
show?
So I actually got to see it when I went to New York for the book in Times Square. We went and saw Wicked, and I'd never seen it before. I had no idea about the plot, so it was really neat to be able to see it in Broadway and then watch the actual movie when it just came out. And I see a comment. Yeah, they really do keep it very close to the actual Broadway play. But I will tell you, the second movie, you're going to get more of the plot. The plot thickens in the second part, and
That's
I
what I'm
know we
hoping
ended the
for.
movie on "Defying Gravity," and that's the popular song. but you'll really like the plot thickening in the second movie.
So I want to say this, Lance. You like Wicked, you would love the show Agatha All Along.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
I'm telling you this right now. That show
On
had
Disney. It's on Disney Plus.
it
All
had
right.
some singing, right? But it had a. That's what I was looking forward to. That's probably my fault. It was like they had singing in that movie. I mean that show, but it was a lot more storytelling, and that's what I want. Pretty what I wanted. But if you do like Wicked, you will appreciate and enjoy this. And then because there's also a season two. We're hoping for season two because it ends out and a cliffhanger. When that happens, you're like, I can't wait for the next thing. I want more of it. So if you like Wicked, I recommend Echo All Along. So and I love that thing because that show was not like it's not a main character. Nobody was asking for it. It just created it because WandaVision was such a good show. They wanted that character to bloom. They did a great job of it. I personally gave that show an 8. Um,
Oh, nice. All right.
might,
I'm
I might
sold.
be a little bit. It might be a little bit higher, honestly. But the first episode, it's gonna bore you a little bit if you're not aware of the first of the WandaVision. But if you get past that, everything was like, oh, okay, okay. And they at the last two episodes, they put everything together and all these Easter eggs. Like, dang, that makes sense. I love that on those shows.
Yeah, it's great when it all comes together.
Yes, and then now you're like towards the end, like, damn it, they're gonna end it like this. Really? They're not gonna finish this. So that was like, whatever.
Do you like? I'm assuming you like musicals. Yes.
I do. Yeah, I love music. I always have from the time I was young. So I love them.
And plus having the kids that are into that as well.
Yep.
And this, I mean, that has nothing to do with the show, but Caesar has been known to sing, and it's funny because he showed us videos of him singing. I'm like, not bad, Caesar. And that's like
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
classical music. I'm like surprised.
I do sing Phantom of the Opera a lot and Sweeney Todd. So I do appreciate some musicals, but I can't do them all. Les Miserables is Les Miserable for me. It's too much.
Uh,
And not even talking about the play. I'm talking about when I try to watch the movie, and
yeah.
that's the first question I asked people. Actually, Dal was one of them. If Wicked was Les Miserables esque, because Les Miserables, when I watched the movie, I didn't realize that it was all singing. I mean, there was hardly any dialogue without a tune. So I'm hoping Wicked is not that bad.
There's more dialogue for sure.
Okay, all right, thank you. I can sleep. I can have a nice sleep. I appreciate that because Les Miserables was like past the salt,
It's
and
too
I'm like,
much.
oh man, it's just too much. Where Family Opera and Sweeney Todd, there's dialogue, there's a story, and then they break out
Right.
into song, right? So I'm okay with
So
that. Yeah.
Before Wicked, Lance, what was the last movie you saw before that?
Oh, don't even ask. I couldn't even tell you the last time I was at a theater.
Really, it's been that,
Yeah.
It's changed.
Yep.
That's last thing.
and it's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Especially
Yeah,
got
yeah.
4 kids.
Sure, I'm right behind you with three, and I'm like, oh, I signed up for the Cinemark app, so every month they'll get $10, but I get a free ticket, and then you get 25% off for food. I gotta get all these discounts because if not, it's an arm and a leg just to go to the movies. I just find
Maybe next time, Lance, take a couple hospital safari books and hand them out instead of paying for a ticket. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, there you go.
Just
Another good
kind of
idea.
hand them out, saying, "Hey, I'm the guy who created this. You can at least get me in for a theater." You know what I'm saying? You know,
I'll sign it for you, and I'll sign it for you.
I'll even sign it for you. I
Oh,
can
even
color a
better.
couple
Yeah.
pages.
Other than that, are you? You said you're gonna pursue. I know we talked about it, but before you talked to us, were you gonna pursue something else with writing, or were you gonna make it to the book? What's the direction you're looking at?
Taking it one step at a time. I started with this hospital safari book. That's where my first passion's at because I work in a hospital. I do want to get it in Spanish. That is definitely a goal. And after that, when I get some time, I definitely want to do dental next. I think I'm going to go into some of these other clinical areas, other places that are
Mhm.
scary for kids and adults,
Mhm.
for all
Mhm.
of us, and just try to create something that will bring some calm. So definitely looking to create some more books.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's a smart way to go. I mean, your boy would have colored it right down if he was there. He probably would have colored
yeah,
it.
immediately he would have. That's the thing. I think I'm gonna show it to him later, see if we can buy it and get it for him. He'll enjoy it. I know 100% he'll enjoy it. Both. I think all three of them. But buying 30, 45 bucks. Oof. I'll buy one. They can share.
Yeah,
But
they can pick different pages.
yeah, I'm gonna say one
Mm.
page per person. Like, you want to become a doctor? Here's a doctor. You want to be a
Yep,
CNA? Here's a CNA. We could go do that.
It,
there you go.
I tell you what, Lance, doing this, it really showed you sort of the behind the scenes of this whole publishing thing, didn't it?
Yeah, it's really been an incredible process, an incredible thing to be a part of. And what
Stuff you
I'm
never. Yeah,
yeah, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, I would love to see your kids color the book. And in fact, if there's anyone that does get it and you actually color it, I want to see what it looks like. I'm curious to see what everyone's creativity can produce. That's one thing I'm probably most passionate about, is just seeing how people actually use it. So feel free to reach out and share your color images with me once you do color it.
Oh,
Oh
very
heck
good,
yeah, we
man.
can make a post about it and just
Yeah, it'd
see.
be fun.
Mm. There you go. There you go. Because it is interesting when you're since your background is hospital and you're venturing to something different, and you get to see the process of what it takes to publish a book, right? And it's a lot, right? You're
Yeah.
like, there's a lot going into this.
Is Amazon your only distributor? Like they're the ones who will create everything and sell it out there.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, because like with us with the comic industry, I personally have had um co- I let's see I will get an artist, I will work with a publisher, and I'll get my own books developed, and we go through like not Lunar, these small printing companies to do our stuff, which is a little bit cheaper. Going through Amazon, I mean, I'm curious to see how much they would charge to do that per book because for me, what was it? It was like $1.50 or $1.75 per book. That's with all the illustration. It was about 25 pages
That's a
of
pretty
a
good
comic.
deal.
Yeah, so I'm like curious how Amazon would do it. I mean, was it like a hard thing to do, Lance? It was like, hey, here's what I want to do. The process itself, how long did it take?
Well, it probably took a solid 3 months
It's not
um,
bad.
to get together. There's probably a little bit longer just going through the illustration process, all the back and forth. I presented my plot line. The illustrations start coming in, and then I gave a lot of feedback on that. So there's a lot of back and forth to get the characters
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
to where they are right now. But then once you settle in on the each character and the pages, it's still it's 3 month process or so just to get all the publishing details ready to go.
Yeah, with Amazon, they got to prove everything, right? They had to
They
read
do,
everything.
yeah.
So that process itself was, well, how long?
Just from just the Amazon part, it was probably around 3 weeks.
And that's crazy because you're
Yeah,
saying there's only one sentence per page,
yeah,
but yeah, it took 3 weeks for them
yep.
to go through the.
Yeah.
Dang,
So
that's unreal.
imagine anything massive.
But, oh yeah, those big
Right.
books.
It would take some time.
It take
Now,
forever.
Lance, let me ask you, when did you come up with this concept? How long ago? Like when
Uh,
you first woke up one morning and said, you know what I'm going to do?
6 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All
So
right. So
real quick,
6 months ago, well, that's okay.
my son's crying right now, so I'm gonna we're gonna go and make sure we push out what last book one more time, and
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and end the interview here.
Hmm.
Just because my son's crying right now, he wants me.
Give them a
You,
coloring
I'm
book.
not, luckily, you're at work, so they can't disturb you right there. But my son,
That's
like,
why. Yeah, that's why I stayed here.
Oh, I get you. But my son, once he starts crying, like I break down real fast. Real quick, guys. Hospital Jungle Safari. Um, Lance was gonna be working on schedules on signing opportunities, and how see how they're gonna push it. Future book, we'll keep you all updated. We'll share whatever he has, whatever he can provide to us. We'll put it on our page and bring it out to y'all. I appreciate the couple of people that bought some.
Yeah.
Um,
Amazon.
so let me put that picture up real quick one more time so they can see.
Yeah, so it's you can find this on Amazon as Mary who just bought one. It's like 14.96. The cost is nothing compared to giving a child a sense of comfort, a sense of entertainment, a sense of education. $14 is that's 2 cups of Starbucks. So for a child who could just draw and keep away
Having
the anxiety,
and
get
learn.
and learn what and how the hospital works from soups to nuts, as we would say, and look in the future. You might see some further books from the very same man here who might be tackling other clinicals that give the kids and the adults the heebie-jeebies. He makes it a lot simpler for you to go and enjoy yourself.
Uh,
Fantastic.
Real quick, guys, we are gonna thank you, Lance, very much for showing us and stopping by, letting us show it out to our viewers, our followers. I really hope we can continue and see if we can set up something for you and help push. Um, was there anything that you want to push, Lance, or
Well, it
promote?
just Yeah, just it means the world to me that a group like y'all, focusing on comic books and all the great things that you focus on, would be interested enough in what we do in hospitals. So thank you for being so thoughtful, for getting outside of your area and engaging in this coloring book. Really means a lot to me, but again, a lot to our kids in this community. I really hope we can get more exposure so that more kids can be able to have that uplifting, even positive experience when they do go to the hospital, and to know that we're really not that bad. Coming to the hospital, it can actually be a positive experience. And that's what we want. We want our staff to enjoy working there. We want our patients, especially our littlest ones with our kiddos, to know that the hospital really is a great place. So thank you.
Great.
Of
You
course,
know
yeah.
what, Lance? This is also on YouTube. Once we're done here, it goes automatically to our YouTube page. So
Okay.
you could send that link to anyone in your circle, so they can see this interview, see what you had to talk about the book and all that stuff. So even more exposure, right? Because then they send it to somebody, they send it to somebody. So by all means, the comic menu on YouTube, all one word. You'll see this interview, and you could do what you want.
Great. Hey, thank you so much.
Real quick, Caesar, you want to promote for next week's show?
Oh yeah, so next week's show, we're gonna have Adam Schamer and Darren Watts from the documentary Selling Superman. It is. I ordered the 4 episodes. I gotta watch it before we do the interview. It's a fantastic, from what I already saw. It's a fantastic, very sentimental documentary about a man and his father who collected comic books, and after he passed, he left. It's just a lot, and it's a lot deeper than that. There's a family dynamic that has to do with it, but
And
we're going to
that's
be having those guys next week.
that's $1 million book right there, Lance. Like it was the first appearance of Superman, right?
The Action Comics.
Action Comics #1.
Yeah, it's he hit it's a crazy stuff. Actually, Lance, if you even have a chance to even see, it's a documentary, 4-piece documentary that seasons episodes on Amazon. You can order it. It's called Selling Superman. I think you actually might enjoy it.
Historical.
Something
I'll
we'll
check
be,
it out.
yeah. But we'll be on that next week. And once again, if you guys already know, comic menu. Uh, we
8
every
p.m.
Tuesday night, 9:15, and you can see me on Instagram. If you want any voiceovers, hit me up. I'm here for you. I do voiceovers, Lance. Just let you know. So if you want a voiceover for your book, just let me know.
Let's do it.
I'm serious.
I'll have
I
you
could
read
hook
it.
you up. Oh, now we're getting somewhere, my man. I actually might have to read something. All right,
Yeah,
that's about
exactly.
it.
This,
I was thinking it. I wasn't saying it.
Ah, it's a trap. It's a trap.
guys, thank you very
That's
much.
funny.
Thank you, Lance, for once again for showing up and being here, presenting for with us and talking with us. I do appreciate that. Everybody else, thank you very much for stopping by, having a conversation, asking your questions.